Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is your boy Joseph Perez. Welcome back to another episode podcast on codebruh. Man, today's topic is going to be an interesting one. All my topics are always interesting, but today I'm going to be diving into I got almost 200 things that you can understand if you are trying to know if your man or your dating partner is cheating or talking to other women. This is going to be one of those things where, yes, you take the information, but you don't take it with a grain of salt, right? This is not where you become bitter, where, okay, everything is going to be exactly how I say it and guaranteed your partner is cheating, or maybe your man or the guy that you're trying to date is talking to a lot of women. However, I am going to be real specific here, and I'm going to be straight to the point, direct, as far as what I know people do, some of the facts based on research, and what I used to do when, in my past, a long, long time ago, many, many years ago, when I was cheating on one of my partners many years ago. So, without further ado, again, this is your boy Joseph Perez on Code Bruh, the number one podcast for women who need a sidekick and a voice for men. So let's dive right in. Now, I'm going to share at least 10 things that you can guarantee yourself to know and understand that are key indicators that your man is cheating or at least talking to other women. I got over 100, about 175 indicators in different arenas, scenarios, just different things that you can be witness of or experience in. For example, if you are trying to communicate through texting or phone calls or during physical intimacy, right? Financial red flags, like if you guys have a joint account, you can see some of the changes take place, or in the social life or lifestyle changes, things that are beneficial to you. But over 175 things, indicators that you can use and understand how men cheat, or if you think that your man is cheating, these are key indicators that will help you identify those cues. So let's dive right into it. Now, I got 10. Of course, I got my notes in the background, but hopefully these make sense. So, number one, how do you know your man is cheating? Now, a lot of it is going to be behavior changes, right? So, increased secrecy around his phone. So, password changes. We're talking about hiding the screen. Many times when we have a phone, right, we have it where we can see our messages, see a phone call. But if the phone is placed down where you can't see the screen, you can't maybe hear the noise because it's either on low or on vibrate, that's a key indicator for you that your man is either cheating or talking to other women, because we don't want our phone to blow up where you take notice of it. You see a phone call, obviously you're going to be curious, right? Who's calling? Who is that? Especially at a specific time. But if the phone is placed down anywhere that you are, whether it's out, if you're on a date or maybe you're at home and the phone is always placed down everywhere, whether it's charging in the room and on the table, on the kitchen, and it's face down, that means he's being secretive, because at any given point, there could be a text message or a phone call that is unapproved of. Now, this is not always the case that your man or your dating partner is talking to other women, but it is a key indicator for you to take notice of, because some men do like their privacy. I used to have my phone down and I didn't want any phone calls or be distracted, right? If I got an Instagram message or, a comment or like, or, just any kind of phone call from work, I just want to detach. So that is possible. However, 7 times out of 10, most likely the phone is going to be placed down to be private and to not be distracted by something or someone who is not supposed to text or call. So I need you to take notice of that. If the phone is placed down, there's a high likelihood that man has another woman that can at at any point, send him a text message or a phone call. Number two, he frequently takes his phone to the bathroom or other private areas, right? So this is a huge one because, yes, we take our phone everywhere because we're important. We might get a phone call. We might have some kind of weird text message that we need to, respond to, depending on what you do for work. However, if we're always taking the phone with us everywhere we go, that's because we need to be on top of whatever that phone call or text message that is potential to come in on top of it. Because if we are not, let's just say we left the phone somewhere, then it's possible randomly somebody can hit us up at a random time, the wrong time, and then that will lead to a discussion. So you have to be mindful of this. That is a key indicator that if he's always taking the phone everywhere he goes, to the bathroom, to the room, to the shower, in his office, or just anywhere, just never lets the phone go. That's a key indicator that he has other women. Like if you're on a date and he has his phone, sometimes if I'm going on a date, if I'm going on the phone, I'm gonna let you know you can trust me. I'm gonna leave my phone there, right? And so it's because nobody's gonna hit me up. Nobody's gonna text me or call me. I'm not worried that somebody's gonna call or text me. But if I'm gonna take it with me, doesn't mean I'm cheating. Doesn't mean that I have other women, but there's a high likelihood that I do. So I'm gonna take it with me just in case I get a phone call or a text that I need to respond to or delete as soon as possible. So that's number two. Number three is I turn notifications off or silence the phone whenever I'm with you. Now, this is a big one because, again, if you're important and you're always at work or you have some kind of thing that you got going on where you need to respond, people have their phone on so that way they can hear someone call and they can respond really fast or whatever the case is. But if it's always on notification silence or if it's on vibrate, if it's on vibrate, excuse me, if it's on vibrate, that means that I'm trying to hide something, right? That means that I'm trying to be secretive, private. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm always talking to somebody or I have some other thing going on that you're going to be expecting of. But that means that there's a possibility that that person has someone or something that can distract them at the wrong place at the wrong time. And so we're going to put that phone on silence. So you have to be aware of this. This is a key indicator that it's possible that your man has other woman that he doesn't want you to know. That's number three. Number four is that frequently clearing the browser history. Now, we all are a big proponent of this. We always, well, at least for me, I like to. Now, again, this is a two stone that you can flip, right? It could mean that we're hiding something, 100%, right? If you're always clearing messages, always clearing phone calls, always clearing your browser history, chances are you don't want nobody to know. That's just fact, right? How many times have you gotten hit up where you maybe got a text message from a random guy, right? And maybe you don't talk to him, or maybe you do, but you don't want nobody to see it. So you delete it, or a phone call, right? Or browser history. Let's say you watch porn. You don't want nobody to know. You delete the history. Same thing here. If somebody is constantly deleting everything, and let's just say chances are you maybe was able to get into the phone and maybe you saw, that there's nothing there. There was something there. However, it doesn't always mean that's the case, right? Because for me, I do like to clear a lot of my stuff. Like I have on my phone, I have on a thing where every 15, 20, or 30 days or so, my messages will delete because I don't want to have all that garbage on my phone, right? Because it clears the data. Same thing with my browser history, where I have a lot of, important things online or on documents that are heavy filed, heavy space, heavy storage, and I need to clear or cache, right? So that way I clear the browser history so that way I can have it faster download speeds and upload speeds and all that stuff. So for me, that's not the case, but the majority of the times it is because you can have enough storage, enough memory where things can still go fast and you don't have to delete it all, right? So why would you delete it is the question. Now, key indicator for you to look for if you're in a relationship or you're trying to date somebody and you just wanted to take a peek, or maybe you just saw it, or maybe you guys are just open about it and you can see his phone, you take a look and it's nothing there, chances are that it was deleted. Number 4. Number 5 is suddenly has new or additional social media accounts. Now, one would beg the question, why would you have so many accounts? Why? What's the point of having so many? If you're a content creator like myself, I have multiple accounts. I have a lot of accounts, and I'm not always creating accounts because I ain't got time for that. Right? At least not in this stage. If I was very busy, okay, maybe I would create more accounts, make more money, more passive income, you know what I mean, stuff like that. But if this person is just a normal average Joe who maybe has one account, maybe two accounts, different social media accounts on different platforms, but then has multiple social media accounts on the same platform, that means there's chances of hiding stuff. It's chances of having, let's just say he has a primary account, creating a secondary account. So that way he can do his grimy stuff. And so if you're finding this out and you question him and the answer doesn't really seem clear as to why, chances are he's using that secondary or third account to hide his grimy stuff or reach out or, you know, hide information, hide messages, phone calls, whatever the case may be. So that is something to look for is, does this man have social media accounts? And if so, how many of those accounts does he have? If it's so many to the point where it's like, why do you have so many? That's because he's hiding something. Number 6 is keeping the phone face down while on the table. Now, I've already talked about earlier keeping the phone down, right? But if you're keeping the phone on the table down, let's just say you guys are just, having a dinner and you guys are relaxing, chilling. Both phones are down. Okay, I get it. That makes sense. But here's the switch. If you can have that same dinner date and you have your phone facing up, right? This is just a weird tactic that you could try. Have your phone facing up, but his phone is still facing down. Chances are he's hiding something, because we are humans of trying to match behavior, right? If you ever notice when you're trying to connect with people and you guys kind of do the same things, make the same facial expressions, maybe make the same body language or the signs, right? If you're talking with somebody, naturally, you guys would kind of do the same thing, where you might stand the same way or you might move the same way, right? Your body language is kind of in sync, right? And synchronicity, that's true. Subconsciously, you do this. So it's the same thing here. Now you just broke out of that where it's not subconscious. Well, you're conscious about it, where you had your phone down subconsciously. Like I was just automatic. You automatically do that. But consciously, you flip, and he doesn't do the same. This is a key indicator that you guys are not on the same page, because chances are he's probably hiding something. Because we're good at catching cues. We're not stupid, especially if you got yourself a good man, very intelligent. He knows what's up. Chances are he's hiding something, right? Boom. That's a nice one. All right, that's a good one. Let's get to the next one. Number 7. Suddenly becomes defensive about his privacy. Privacy. This is a huge one, because a lot of men love their privacy. I think you do too, right? Woman, y'all love y'all privacy. You want to be trusted. You want to trust your man. And so you give him a lot of freedom, right? Because he's a grown-ass man. Absolutely, I get you, boo-boo. Don't worry about it. But, bruh, you do that, somebody will go extra. Because if he automatically becomes defensive about his privacy, if you catch him on it, and he's just a little bit irate, like, yo, like, what you talking about? Like, just let me do me, you do you, or hey, don't cross that boundary. Like, you can trust me. Like, he makes all these excuses. If you're trying to change that or create that boundary, like, hey, listen, I just want us to be more trusting and inviting, and he's very defensive or apprehensive about it, chances are he doesn't want to let go of that because he's holding on to something in the back end. where there's something that he's holding from that is so much better than what you got going on, or what he doesn't want to respect your wishes. So he gets defensive. And for woman, you're a little bit timid or shy, or you don't want to cross that boundary, or maybe he's just like this burly man and he gets angry and you don't want him to get angry, you want him to be happy. Now, obviously that makes sense. However, if a man respects you and you ask them, obviously that makes sense in a way. So that way it protects you, keeps you safe, and you want to feel trusted. You have a valid reason and excuse for it, and he still is defensive about it or apprehensive, chances are he is holding on to something. So take mental note. Number 7. Number 8, spending more time texting, but you're not part of the conversations. This is a big one. And then let me try to help you make sense of this one, because let's just say, I don't know how old you are, but a lot of people love to text. I'm a big texter. I do like to call, and I love FaceTime or, phone calling more so than I do texting, but I do like to text. However, if a person is always texting, that means there's multiple people that they need to respond to. Right? If somebody's always texting, that means they have people. And most of the time, it's going to be of the opposite sex. So chances are the high likelihood of having somebody that is, that they're attracted to, or that they are connected with, or maybe in the past they had sex with, or they dated, it's very probable. It's possible. So if they're always texting and you're never part of the conversations, that means I'm trying to hide you. I don't want you in my conversation because I don't want that person to know that I'm dating somebody, or I might be cheating, right? I might be trying to get with somebody else. You're never part of the conversation. So you have to take mental note of this. If somebody's always texting, take mental note. It doesn't mean that they're cheating, but that is a key indicator that it's possible that something is happening behind the scenes. Take note of that. That's number 8. Number 9 is that a person is always disappearing for periods with no explanation. This happens a lot with a lot of guys because we distance ourselves, or we're just on the moves. We're always moving. We go on to the next, and because we have so much freedom that we don't feel the need to have to say anything to anybody. Right? It's like I think it like remember when you was in high school and people had to raise their hand to go to the bathroom. If you remember that, I hated that. Right? Because I should be able to just go out and do whatever I got to do and come back like a grown person should. They allow you that freedom in college. But in reality, if this person is always leaving and doing something and don't have an explanation, don't explain what happened or where he's going, doesn't feel the need to communicate, that's because he was probably, not all the time, but probably doing something that he was not supposed to do. Because if you're always constantly communicating, hey, I'm about to go to this meeting, or I'm about to go to this event, or I got these plans, or I'll be right back, or I'm gonna do X, Y, Z, and then come back and tells you what happened, like, oh, this was a great event, or et cetera, et cetera. If that person is fully communicating, that's a possibility that he was not doing something. But if he doesn't do that, that means he was hiding something or doing something he was not supposed to do. So you have to take mental note of this. If it's always constant, all these factors, all these things that I'm mentioning today is things that are possible for somebody to do who might be hiding something. But if it's consistently, doesn't mean that they are, but if it is consistently that they're doing these things, chances are they have too much freedom and they're doing something that they're not supposed to do, and you have to take mental notes so that you can protect your heart. That's number 9. And then number 10. I'm hoping that you're liking these. Right? There's 170 guys, 175 key indicators of I give you the entire blueprint of what a cheater would do, or a person who have something to hide would do. I need you to go ahead, drop a comment if you want the checklist. of over almost 200 key indicators that men do that could potentially lead them to cheat, or show you or tell you that are key indicators that they are cheating or have multiple women. If you want that, go ahead and drop a comment down below and just write checklist, and I will send you the free copy of all the template, the playbook, the keys for you to understand what men do behind scenes, so that way you can know exactly the play before it even happens. If you want it, drop it checklist down below, so that way I can go ahead and send that to you directly, no strings attached. Just go ahead and give me an email so I can send that over to you, and I promise it'll be on its way. All right, so that's number 9. Number 10, last but not least, I wish I can go more. I just want to make this short. It's 20 minutes right now. I can go 45 an hour and give you another 15, but this is a good one right here. Is number 10 is avoid sharing where he's been. That kind of goes along with being kind of secretive, right? Everything was about being secretive or not communicating. But if this man never shares where he's been, and I'm gonna make this a little bit more clearer for you so that would make sense. If he never shares where he's been, just all day, never told you anything about where he's been, what he's done, what he's been doing, where he went yesterday, where he went for the weekend, and doesn't share that with you, that's because men are not really good liars. We're not really good liars at all. The woman you pick up when we lie, it's just something about the lies sometimes does not make sense. But we would prefer, if we know that we're bad liars, we prefer not to get into a lie or make up a lie. So we'd rather not share it. Does that make sense? So if a person is never sharing where he's been, where I've been, chances are I've been doing something, at least maybe, let's just say, for the entire week. What you do all week, right? Easy question to ask. What you do all day is kind of like when you're in a relationship for a very long time, or maybe you're just trying to, have some casual talk, and people just say, I just went to work and, did the basic stuff, or home, skipped a whole bunch of stuff, skipped all the details that are very important. He's gonna not disclose that. And if you kind of pay attention to the conversation and not just what he's saying, you can read between the lines. So if he's never sharing where he's been the entire week, the entire day, and it's outside of the workplace or the common stuff that he normally does, chances are he's been doing something. So you have to pick up on the cues. You have to understand the conversation, understand what he's saying, truly listen. And if you truly listen and be quiet and try to feel his energy, you will be able to read between the lines. You see how I'm talking real nicely right now? You see how I'm talking real lightly? You will be able to read the lines. Because this is very important. I don't want you to miss this. If he's not sharing information, he's not communicating, chances are he's been hiding something. So it's up to you to really dig deeper. Again, there's so many different cues, and if you learn the cues in my checklist, you will be able to fully read any man. Again, these are 175 research backed by science, data, information, things that I've done, things that people do, that I know men do, all given to you. Comment below, checklist. If you're on podcast, comment. Again, checklist. If you're on YouTube, comment, like, subscribe, checklist. And I will send it over to you, my entire Cheaters playbook, to you, boom, right in the palm of your hands, where you can read it, study it, and really be completely rejuvenated and revived. If you've been cheated on in the past, this will help you protect your heart for your next relationship when you're dating. This applies not only to relationships, but it also applies to when you're first dating a man, to see if he has a woman, or if he has other women. These are key indicators for you to understand what this man is doing, but you have to read between the lines. You have to study and know what you're talking about because you don't want to assume. And that goes into another topic. I'm going to actually do another video on it because, again, I'm creating a series, a course called the Loyalty Code that helps you understand the mindset of a man for you to get exactly what men think. But you have to study. You are not going to figure it out because you're a woman. And you can't understand it from a man's perspective. So I got to give it to you, baby. Bruh, go ahead. Drop it down below. Checklist. If you loved what I was saying today, go ahead, subscribe. Follow me on all your music platforms. This podcast is everywhere. All right. I'm hoping that you enjoyed today. I love you. Again, these are key indicators. Doesn't mean that he is cheating or he has different other woman. But again, you need to know the entire playbook for you to understand it. These are just 10, some of the primary understandable principles for you to get what your man is up to. All right. Until next time, I love you. I appreciate you. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.